Good day. Welcome to another edition of Talakayan sa PIA, brought to you by Philippine Information Agency through the support of Paraset Cable TV. For this episode, we have partnered with one of the premier hotels in Cagayan de Oro City, the Limkit Kailaks Hotel, to discuss this year's celebration of National Science and Technology Week. Joining us today is none other than the General Manager of Limkit Kailaks Hotel, Mr. Jerome de la Fuente. Welcome, Jerome.
Hello, Jam. Good day to all our televiewers watching in their homes and the media and bloggers present here as we celebrate the National Science and Technology Week entitled One Science, One Nation. We would like to know how far the government has come in terms of advancement of technology, especially on the weather instruments, innovation for health sector, and research and development for the drug discovery, among others. Jam, I'm also excited because people may not know, but my mom used to work with the Department of DOST, the Department of Science and Technology. She was once working in the Vice Chairman's office, so I'm pretty aware of what's happening during those days in the 60s and the 70s. As a matter of fact, in school, it's a program in LaSalle Green Hills that we have to go to the planetarium to view the stars. And I think they have one star coming up here in Mindanao. So let's welcome the people from the Department of Science and Technology.
Okay, in addition to that, we would also like to know the projects DOST has provided in the region, such as the scholarships for the youth, involvement in rural health centers, and even support to the micro, small, and medium enterprises.
Wow, to give us a meaningful discussion, besides the message that came from the Department of Secretary of Science and Technology, Mr. Fortunato de la Peña, who is the Secretary of the Department of Science and Technology. We also had a message coming from Rowena Cristina Guevara, who is the Undersecretary of Research and Development and the co-chairman of this year's celebration. She's part of the steering committee. Let's welcome our very own Regional Director of the Department of Science and Technology, Director Al Alamban. We also have the Chief Science Research Specialist Assistant of the Region Director for Technical Services, Mela Ratila, and we also have some of the provincial directors from DOST as resource person.
Yes, we have the DOST Misamis Oriental Provincial Director, Engineer Juneline Luvena B. Ruiz. She's
Welcome.
with us right now. So let's get started. So Director Alamban, this year DOST launched its first satellite Diwata to space. What is this Diwata, and can you tell us about it?
Diwata is supposed to launch us into the into our own space program, and it's a satellite that is equipped with cameras that can cover parts of the Philippines to gather data, especially relevant to weather forecasting. But we will not be limited to that. We will also have some information that will help us in charting agriculture and charting fisheries, and also the other information requirement for better economic development.
Wow, so there's still some hope that we will have an astronaut going to the moon with Diwata on the ball.
It goes around Philippines twice a day.
Okay.
And it hovers about for 10 minutes to gather the information.
So that's the one for weather forecasting?
Mel may have some additional
Yes, sir.
information.
Diwata is actually the ferry. So the microsatellite is just named after the ferry. It was launched last April 26, 2016. And it is now orbiting in space. And it will be orbiting for 10 to 11 months.
I see.
And it was developed by a team of Filipino engineers and scientists. There were 9 of them. They worked in Japan together with 2 universities in Japan. And they were helped by NASA. It was actually launched through the help of NASA.
Okay, that's good to hear. I mean, do we see any of this in your website, or how do we get to know more about Diwata?
It's directly, there's a link within our website, and there are already preliminary data that had been shared.
And who usually uses this? The PBOX or the Department of...
It's usually PAGASA initially, and the other networks for disaster preparedness like Project NOAA of the UPNIGS.
Yes, sir. It's also being used for resource assessment and even for tourism.
How do you use it in tourism?
Because of the different pictures that it can get, high resolution pictures, it can locate where are the best beaches and also the aquatic and resources. It can also look at the underwater environment of the country.
I think we should really push this Diwata not only to the science and technology community. I think the tourism people would be very happy to look at this, because sometimes we have a problem looking at the sites. What are nice places to go? What do you see there? And I think maybe this is the answer. I haven't seen it, but I will look at the website today and see how we can push this here, at least in the region.
The actual launching of the Diwata, you can actually view from the YouTube.
YouTube.
Yes.
It's there.
I mean, it's
saved. The video itself is on
yes,
YouTube.
the video itself is on YouTube.
So it's not actual. Okay.
Siguro, if I may add, that's part of the disaster preparedness, but we'd also like to look into the economic impact, especially on the resource assessment. Because, for example, there's a new technology on the sago, which can replace or which can be a material for biodegradable plastic, and the Diwata can map out where the sago stands are, so that you are able to have access to these resources.
Rainy days is on again. Do we have improved facilities and technology that can predict the weather and determine the areas that are prone for hazards like flooding and access online? I think Diwata will be the one, but the question is, can we access online?
Now, aside from Diwata, we have location-specific sensors. These are the automatic rain gauge and the automatic water level sensors, which are placed in various critical areas in northern Mindanao. We have about 100 of them.
Here.
And then, for example, during rainy season, it sends a reading of how intense the rains are every 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, to the web, so that you can track it, your app, Project NOAA, and you have now an assessment of what's how intense is the rain, and perhaps some estimates on eventual flooding in your area.
This is online?
That's online, and in fact, there's an app in the phone, smartphone. And in tandem with the automatic rain gauge, we also have a water level sensor installed in the various strategic bridges in the region. Every 10 minutes, it reads the water level and sends it to the internet. You can monitor it every 10 minutes.
I think with that should be, this thing should always be present in the hotels or even in the mall for them to guide that they just don't walk out of the mall and they don't even know what's happening.
You can actually download it, the app. It's Project NOAA, but there's a climatex.ph which you can also monitor and perhaps install it in the malls, so that every 10 minutes you can have an updated reading of the rain and the water level.
Yeah, especially now, like here in Cagayan de Oro, there's a lot of construction going on, and this is going to be very helpful. One of the helpful products of the Department of Science and Technology is the Tactical Operative Amphibious Drive. What's this all about?
Yeah, it's also designed for disaster preparedness, rescue operations particularly. It gets flooded, so the toad can both travel on dry grounds and on flooded areas. So it's very handy technology for rescue operations.
I know this was launched by the Los Baños Science Community. You think we will have our own here in Mindanao?
Yeah, we can work for it, but the technology really was developed in that part, and it's now being tested. So perhaps if it's debugged finally, then we could really work for its adoption here.
Of course, Mindanao is not, of course, it's always paired with these heavy rains, so we don't really need much. What needs, I think the cities or the provinces or the region that needs it the most are the Visayas, Luzon, and National Capital Region. But it's also nice to know that they have developed this kind of tactical operative amphibious drive, which you can use in land and you can use in water. It's just like an American jeepney that has been converted. It has its motor and it moves like on any car, any type of vehicle. Another project you probably want to do on any more things on weather or that we can deal with, that about flooding and all this?
These are supposed to be for advanced warning system for the residents in the area. We also have LiDAR. It's really actually a mapping initiative for the area, especially the river basin, so that we are able to forecast at given intensity of the rain, this is the time that this will flood. So it considers the topography of the area.
Jam. A lot of interesting stuff, right?
Yes. Okay, so this time we are here with DOST has brought their latest project. It's an RX box that is locally invented, a 6-in-1 system for rural health centers. So, Ma'am Ratilia, ARD, can you explain to us this project and give us a demo on how it works, or probably RD?
Yes, I'd like you to know that this project was supported by DOST, but it was developed by a team of doctors and engineers. The doctors are coming from the UP Manila National Telehealth Center, and the engineers coming from the UP College of Engineering in Diliman. So this RX box is actually a system that you use when you do the prescription. So in this system, you have 6 sensors that can take the vital signs of a person. So it can take we have actually brought an item here.
Yes, and Sir Andrew from DXIM will be our patient. Sample patient for this RX box. So
yes.
while Sir Andrew will be fitted with the device, so ARD Ratilia can explain as well.
Okay, so as I've said, it has 6 sensors that can take our vital signs. So one of that, of course, is the blood pressure na kukunin na ngayon, and then we can also take the ECG, the digital pulse, also the electrocardiograph, and for pregnant women, the fetal heart rate monitor. And then in the system, you also have the EMR. You call that electronic medical record system. So that in the health center, they don't have to write everything. It's just readily stored in the computer, and for every patient that comes into the center, he or she will have a record, and the nurse and the midwife will not anymore unearth heavy documents whenever you come there. And then another thing is, it is also a telemedicine system, telehealth. So meaning that a doctor located in an isolated or depressed area can get the help of a medical specialist sa PGH. Actually, there are other centers that are already with an MOA, Baguio General Hospital and East Visayas Medical Center. So they can help the doctor that is assigned in a place na siya lang ang nandun. Okay.
But do you know the cost in factor here? What's the cost of this? You know why? I'm asking because this can be sold, or not probably sold, or given with a grant. You know the 911? All the ambulances can be mounted. So while the patient is being brought somewhere else, they can already start doing this and sending it to the doctor, and the doctor can already read, okay, this is what's going to happen. By the time the patient goes to emergency, done deal.
Exactly, Sir
Can you do that?
Yes.
How much? I'd like to buy one.
Actually, the costing, it's still in process, but we were informed that this will cost
50 pesos.
half the price of what is imported.
That's good. So this has already been deployed in our provinces, so one of our provinces here in Region 10.
There is a project we are implementing now. This is called Rollout of 1,000 RX boxes to selected RHUs in the Philippines. So there will be 1,000 of this that
In the
will be
whole of the
distributed
Philippines.
all over the Philippines.
What's
And
RSU?
Regional Health Unit.
Rural health.
Rural Health Unit,
The
sorry.
Filipinos love to do this initials.
Rural Health Unit. And
Nobody
I'd like to
knows.
inform everyone that we have 65 of this that will be deployed to selected RHUs,
Regional Health.
Rural Health
Okay.
Unit in the region.
Okay, can you be one of them? We are the 66.
Yes, if you are
Great.
an RHU,
Well, we can have that.
but you are not.
The center should be able. I think you should look into it probably. I mean, it's very costly, but you know, the malls should have one this because
Yes.
you know right now.
Sir, I think there are more than 90 municipalities in the region. So there are
98 to be exact.
about 20 of them that cannot get one. So maybe
They can just-
Lemketkay can sponsor the 20 more items so that we can provide
No.
to all
Actually, this is designed for rural health unit because do not have the resources to buy the medical sensors. For Limkit-Kai, they are so rich that perhaps they can
No, we're
buy.
not. We're not. We're not only
120.
talking of Limkit-Kai. What we're talking here is not just Limkit-Kai. I'm talking like the Gaisanos, the Ororamas, and I mean, yes, we may look big, but this is
No,
going
actually,
to be costly.
the idea is to balance because in the regional centers you have the big hospitals, which has the equipment already. But in the far-flung barangays, these are not available, so we have to.
But is this present in the 911 ambulances, or you know?
I guess they have the regular equipment.
Yeah, but will they transmit to the doctor at the other end, let's say in a hospital in the area, so that the reading can be done?
I suppose so. They have a link with the hospitals already.
Not with UPPGH, because it's the 911 here in Cagayan de Oro. It cannot be read in UPPGH. It has to be somewhere here.
Because these are usually 911 deals with emergency cases. These are usually the first target of the RX box are for maternal health purposes.
okay. So this is different. The approach is different. It's just that we want to expand it further.
Maternal health and usually some of the other tropical diseases in the rural communities.
Oh, interesting. Okay, we have the technology now. Is there any reading? Can we see the reading? So that we can provide this to the community and they're aware of this investment. I mean, this gadget, it's a very helpful gadget. It's RX box is not a karaoke box. It's a medical box that will help the rural areas.
Yes.
So how do we sustain this specialty with our youth to maintain their love to science and technology in terms of scholarship? What's the share of the region of northern Mindanao vis-a-vis Luzon, Visayas, and the northern National Capital Region?
Actually, the UST has been known for the scholarship. That's why when you ask the UST, the first thing that comes into your mind are the scholarships. But we have other things in store for the students. We also have the Philippine Science High School that is actually a part of the UST. And we support the activities in the science fairs. And also we support the participation of our gifted students in science and math to participate in international competitions. And on Sunday, we will be awarding our students that won medals in the international competitions, quite a number of them. And then also for the scholarships that we are giving for high school, that is for the Philippine Science High School, we have the graduate scholarship. There are two types, and we also have the MS and the PhDs. And then also this coming Sunday, we will be honoring our scholars that graduated with honors, cum laude, summa cum laude, and magna cum laude. Quite a number of them. We are proud that in Northern Mindanao, usually we have the most number of scholars that graduated with honors. About 40 of them, sir, will be this.
And the total of scholars that have been for this year is
For this year, 4,000 for the undergrad scholars.
That's for the whole of the Philippines.
For the whole.
And we get
Close
400.
to 386 to be exact.
Oh, okay. Well, good share.
Actually, I think what the objective really is to build up human resource in science.
Right.
Because we have to be at par with more developed countries which have more higher proportions of human resources involved in science and
I
technology.
think maybe one thing we should look into, I think some of the government offices should really, is to communicate to the public in general. What programs are there available? Because sometimes people really don't know what you're doing, and which is very important. There may be somebody here who is one of the brightest boys, but doesn't know that there's an opportunity that the Department of Science and Technology is giving. So maybe you should be more open to doing kind of campaign, you know. Otherwise, it's only you and me who would know. So I hope to see more of the scholars coming from this region.
That's true.
Jan?
Actually,
Yes.
in terms of scholarship, we really try to campaign for all municipalities because the target is really to cover 100% of the municipalities. 2 years ago, we only had a few municipalities and mostly the cities that had scholars. But the last year, we now have only 7 municipalities that do not have any scholars.
Wow, that's good to hear. But how do you go about? You go through the different schools?
There's a campaign in all schools, and in addition, we also conduct review for 10 Saturdays so that they get prepared for the exam.
Oh, okay, good.
That is the part of increasing their chances of passing the exam.
Right.
But when they enroll, we also give them the necessary support, even emotional, psychological support. We just don't give the allowance. We also have many activities that will develop their leadership skills, and also even in mentoring other scholars, because our target is not just the number of scholars, but the number of graduates that will eventually work in S&T related disciplines.
Let me also add that in terms of masteral and PhD, that's where you get the research and development, human resource, plus the teaching capability. And the initiative that was done very, very recently is to expand the colleges that can be host universities for these scholars. Because formerly it's only 2 universities, one the Premier University in Manila and one here. But
You mean here in Cagayan de Oro?
in Iligan. But we gathered that soon 2 more universities will be able to be the host universities.
Where is this?
This is Mindanao University of Science and Technology.
Oh, our neighbor.
And then Central Mindanao University.
Good. That's good to hear. It's not some improvement coming on. Jan, how's things
All right.
going?
So in terms of our small and medium micro enterprises, so what programs can they apply for in case they need assistance on equipment and various technologies for food processing and other livelihood?
Yes, actually we have the setup. That's the Small Enterprise Technology Upgrading Program. That is a program that can assist already existing business enterprises. So there are a set of criteria, and one of that is that to avail of setup, you have, if you're a small or a medium enterprise, you have been in existence for at least 3 years. That is for the small and the medium. But if you are a micro enterprise, the requirement is just you've been there for just a year. But if you are new and you want to have a business, where do you go?
Right.
Still, we have a program for you. So if you are in a CEST community, we call that the community empowerment through science and technology. For example, in Misamis Oriental, we have one CEST community. The objective of CEST is that you select a community, and then we pour in all the S&T initiatives of the government in order that that community will improve in terms of productivity, employment, quality of life, and all the performance indicators. So, sir, if you are in a CEST community, even if you don't have an existing business, you can still avail of our packages of assistance in terms of training, consultancy, equipment, and all, so that you can develop your business and even develop your products for it to meet world-class standards.
Wow. I really look forward to getting some, women backyard industries. Do they have a chance here? How do they
Yes,
come about?
if you are under assessed community, backward women, yun talaga yung backyard, yun talaga yung gusto namin. Kasi if backyard, you start from there, you upgrade the system, you put in the training, you put in the equipment, the process, improve it, so they can have a livelihood.
Wow, that's one of the projects really I'm looking to do here in Cagayan de Oro. Not only in Cagayan, but in Northern Mindanao, is to look for backyard industries for women, because they can do something besides just making babies.
In fact, one of the activities of the National Science and Technology Week here is really a forum on opportunities for women.
That's good.
That's scheduled already.
So what are the samples, ma'am? You mentioned the CES community. In Misamis Oriental, where are they located?
And what products do they have?
Yeah.
Has just started. So right now there are no products yet for Misamis Oriental. But in Bukidnon, it started earlier. The first CES community there is Malitbog. In Bukidnon, you know where Malitbog is. So the first product is actually banana chips.
Okay.
It started from backyard, and then we came in because we want to improve the product. And right now, it's picking up, and sales have gone up also. And then there's another one. It's an IP community. They have mat weaving. It's really an IP, an indigenous way of doing the mat. So we help that community and even open up markets for them in Manila.
This mat weaving, is that available at the Limkit Kaisa?
Yes, it's not.
Sunday?
Sunday, yes.
Yes,
There will
so we
be a
will see
demo.
that.
Yes, you
There's
will.
also one thing I'm interested to know. It's the pineapple pie.
Yes.
What did you do for that?
Actually, that pineapple, it's not pineapple pie, but it's a cookie. What's this?
Pie
It's
or a cookie or?
It's a cookie with a pineapple filling. Actually, it's called piñacitas. It's unique to Bukidnon. And our visitors from Manila, especially our Undersecretary, will tell us, please send us the piñacitas.
Do we have a sample here?
You can have the sample on Saturday.
Why I'm asking, because during Ramadan, this is the things that we give to people in the Muslim community.
Yeah.
My Muslim brothers and sisters. I normally would give them pineapple tarts. So if this is available here, then it would be a good also for our hotel.
Sir, let me talk more about the piñacitas. It started just a sidewalk business. And right now they are employing 20 people.
Good.
And their sales have gone to the 6-digit figure.
Is it available in Manila or is it only available here?
Only available here, only in Bukidnon.
They don't come this part of town? Yeah.
It can be available through our one store.
Oh, okay.
What
is your one store?
Yeah.
That's
the
an
website.
online store that features set-up products, and customers from all over the world can order, and we have a way of online payment and logistics for delivery as well.
So that's how Vandev also, you did the project with them? What did you do with Vandev?
Come again?
Vandev.
Sorry. Bandep.
That's my favorite before, but because I'm diabetic, I stopped.
It started very small through the assistance also of the Department of Science and Technology. We have introduced various equipment and other procedures that now enhances their productivity. And it's now available in the other parts of the country.
Oh, as a matter of fact, it's available in Manila because
Yeah.
sometimes I forgot to pass by. I can pick it up in my favorite SM.
They already opened, I think, more than 10 stores throughout the Philippines. They have branches already.
It's good to hear.
Yes, also we gave them an equipment that actually increased their production. What used to be manual, with the equipment that we gave, they now turned into semi-automatic. And we also help them in terms of good manufacturing practices and the HACCP. You're familiar with the HACCP, so now they are certified to GMP and to HACCP. Actually, they can compete already in the international market, but right now, business is really booming and there's so much demand. So parang not yet in their minds yung export.
As a matter of fact, all the conference, we have our business here in Cagayan, in Limkit Kai, Lux Hotel is basically from Manila. So you can see always, every time there's a meeting or a conference, you see bags and bags of being delivered here.
It reversed that practice before that people visiting Manila came in with their pasalubong. Now it's people from Manila and going back with Cagayan de Oro pasalubong.
By the way, we also help them in their packaging and labeling. If you'll notice in the box, there is that logo of the DOST, the 4 circles.
I'm very interested to work with products like this because I'd like to make sure that it's halal ready. Because if it's not halal ready, it's very hard to market in this. Countries that we can market here, our products from Mindanao are usually Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia, and Brunei. As a matter of fact, I'm going to Brunei for another trade show. I'm selling cocoa sugar, which is done here in Misamis Oriental. What other products besides pineapple? You may have a coffee that you are helping build up.
Actually, the food processing sector is just one of the sectors that we are supporting. We have actually 8 sectors. One is the food processing. We have also the metals and engineering. There are also quite a number of metals and engineering industry in Cagayan de Oro and Northern Mindanao that we have supported. We also have the GDHs, that's the gifts, toys, and housewares.
Oh.
So we also have in the agriculture and the aquaculture. That's for the fishery.
The wellness products also.
Like what for wellness?
The herbal complementary food.
And you can see this in your website, DOST,
yes,
or
yes.
the one-stop shop?
They are also featured in the one stop, or rather one store, and these are also featured in the website.
Okay, let me look into this because it's very interesting that I'm interested to work with companies in Mindanao to bring forward the products in Manila or at the ASEAN region.
Perhaps it might interest you to know that Northern Mindanao produces, only Northern Mindanao produces Gouda cheese. It's in El Salvador.
Gouda cheese.
Where is that?
In El Salvador, and I think that is one of
To our F&B guys, please, here is the source.
It is produced by the Northern Mindanao Federation of Dairy Cooperatives. We have also supported them in terms of equipment and training and consultancy.
Cheese,
They do?
Yes.
We should guest them on this show. Anyway, I know there's a lot of things to discuss in science and technology. Research and development is what is important here. Are the endeavors for the government right now? Are you linking to the academe for research? These are a few of the questions we want to know. However, we have a lot of questions for you later, but we'd like to call first people from our audience or media partners and bloggers who are here.
Okay, so we may now, we open the floor to questions from our media friends and bloggers. So please state your name and the organization you represent.
Regarding the DOST scholarship program, if I remember it right, DOST envisions that there must be one DOST scholar per municipality. I would like to ask if DOST has already achieved this vision, or if not, what are you doing to achieve this target?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that we now have only 7 municipalities in the region that do not have any scholars. No? There are 3 in Misamis Occidental and 4 in Lanao del Norte. And we would like to replicate what we had done before, which is really training the teachers and granting reviews for the students. But it will have to hold for another 2 years because there are no incoming scholars for the next year because of the K+12. K+12. So I've already touched base with local governments, especially in Lanao del Norte, because these are mostly the hinterland municipalities. And they agree that they can provide transportations to where the review centers would be.
Just to add to the figures, nationwide, we are already 99%, and in the Region 10, we are 96%. And there are only 2 provinces which does not have 100% record. This is Lanao del Norte. We have 4 municipalities, and then in Misamis Occidental, there are 3. So a total of 7 municipalities. We are already 100% in Bukidnon, in Camiguin, and in Misamis Oriental.
Thank you for that, Ma'am Ditas. Our next question will come from Mike Banyas.
Good morning, Mike Banyas from Talakayan. I'd like to ask DOST about the Small Enterprise Technology Upgrade Program. How do small enterprises in the region apply for it, and what are the qualifications and requirements for availment of the program?
Okay, there is quite a number of qualifications, but the most important, I will just mention the most important requirement. Number 1 is you are a registered business. That means you have permits and you are registered to BIR. And number 2, you have an existing track record. For small and medium enterprises, it is 3 years. And for micro enterprises, it is 1 year. And then a proposal is written and submitted to us in the regional office, and it is defended by the proponent. The approving authority is just our regional director for projects less than 3 million. But for projects which are more than 3 million, the approving authority is the secretary. But we already have projects in Bukidnon that is, for the first time, it is 7.4 million. Actually, the highest, second highest so far throughout the Philippines.
Hi there, good morning. This is Mickey of Maryland Digital Media. My question is a bit simple. For example, yesterday I was in Xavier University for their FS Bazaar, and it happened to be that there was one student entrepreneur selling somewhat like a solar panel product. Now, some were asking if he would be able to participate somehow in this year's National Science Technology. Because if ever, how would that go?
Student.
Yeah, student entrepreneur po siya, but his product is somewhat like a special kind of solar panel po. Would that be able to participate? Would he make it to participate in this year's National Science and Technology Week?
Yes, as an exhibitor, but for innovators in the school, we have a program that is geared for students. We have the National Invention Contest. This coming July 28 to 30, the National Invention Contest will be held in SMX. So the contestants are actually winners from the Regional Invention Contest. We had our RISE, that is Regional Invention Contest, last year. It was held in Lemketkay. And some of the winners are coming from Xavier, from MUST, and from the other universities and colleges in Region 10. So they will be competing in the national level. So for the project on solar panel, that can be included in the competition next year.
Okay,
and there will be big prizes for them. And if it is selected, DOST can support that it will be commercialized and eventually turned into a business.
What I want to know is this student wanting to have it financed, or he just wants to show what he has?
I think he also wants to show what he has.
Do you have the name of this guy? Probably DOST can get in touch with him and see further.
During the...
There's another product that the Department of Science and Technology has not elaborated, or maybe Access, which is the knee system. Can you talk about it?
It's part of the 3 areas of DOST that is focused on. There's agricultural research, industry and energy, and health research. And health research has produced knee replacement technology. This is a lot less expensive than the ones that are imported, and it has benefited a number of patients already.
So now they have the knee, and probably soon they will have the hips. Will they have the brain?
The brain
Hopefully.
is next.
Anyway, I'm very glad about this technology because I have a lot of friends that have already undergone knee replacement themselves. I'm nearing that age, siguro, but still.
But
so
the next
I understand the expense involved, if it is to be imported once.
Maybe soon they'll probably start doing something on the hip, because that always becomes an issue here for the people who are coming to their senior years.
All right, so our next question will come from Sir Andrew from DXIM.
Thank you, good morning. This is more of a general question. But the Filipino talent and ingenuity is something we can all proud of. But when you talk about raising the level of science and technology in the Philippines, in your mind, what do you think is to be done?
That has always been our call whenever we present our budget to the to Congress. We need to invest more in research and development, because the more developed countries would have about 3 to 4% of their GNP devoted to technology, research and development. Ours is about 0.14% only. But in the last 5 years, we have increased the research expenditures, and we're glad about that. And hopefully, there will be more coming. In 2011, we only have about 2 billion budgeted for research and development. Last year, we have 15 billion already. So that's a positive indication. And in fact, we have increased our rank in the global competitiveness because of substantial investments and improvement in the research and development parameters. So foremost of this is of course investments into higher scientific equipment, which jumped by 70 places rank.
Just a follow-up question, sir. Since you're talking about bioscientific equipment, but do you have on the planning board some sort of creating some sort of a science community where these, or let's say students, selected people, will just focus on science and technology so that they can not be distracted with any other focal subject?
Yes, we have discussed that earlier. One is really the idea of putting up technology business incubator. This is a result of all the stakeholders in the innovation ecosystem working together to come up with viable and commercial products. So it emanates usually from the academe with the support environment given by the experts in business and in technology. So hopefully that operationalizes an environment for more innovation resulting from research and development and technology development.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, I'm Carolina Mandia from Studio Bloggers. I'm just a little bit curious about the RX box. So my question would be, is the RX box pattern the same technology being used with the Obamacare implant?
I'm not aware of the details of the Obamacare, but for the RX box, it's really driven by the need for more diagnostic equipment in the rural areas, which are usually not present.
Yes, sir. But as far as I know about the Obamacare, the thing in here is the chip will be implanted sa tao. But here is, it says here they will design to provide a better access to life-saving healthcare. So it's just like the same na proposed with the Obamacare. So my question would be like this, we're not talking about the chip being implanted, but how would be the information will be transmitted. Diba, it says here na it will be transmitted through via internet. So kind of confused. So
this equipment has internet capabilities. So the readings that it gets from the sensors are transmitted to where the specialists are. So that perhaps in tandem with the local doctors, they can discuss on their diagnosis of a particular patient, whether it can be treated locally or there's a need also to bring it to the centers or to the hospitals.
So does it mean it will be just only databases?
These are sensors.
So sensors.
There are sensors for blood pressure, temperature, blood oxygen in the blood, fetal heartbeats, and ECG.
Okay, I hope so. Dili siya pareha sa Obamacare implant. So that's it.
No, there's no invasive implants. No. That's unneeded.
You would like to add?
It's basically going, if there's an emergency, they just plug it in. And if there is no reader, no doctor in the rural areas, this can be transmitted all the way to UPPGH and a reading can be done. But of course, a requirement is there must be an internet.
Okay.
Nothing to do, it's nothing invasive.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yes, it's just the vital signs that are taken. I just remember that the first version of this box came out in 2006. So that time, Obama is not yet president. So meaning this device precedes that,
before the proposal
but
of the
anyway, it's the same objective. It is primary care for improved quality of life and health services in the rural areas.
Okay, thank
As a
you.
matter of fact, Obama just copied from us.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so do we have any more questions?
Two questions. Do you expect improvement in science and technology in the coming years with the introduction of the critical improvement in the field of science and technology with the introduction of the K-12 science program? And two, what's the regional status of the science and technology? Ano po yung estado ng agham sa probinsya region?
Let me address the K plus 12. Basically, that's why we are pushing for K plus 12, because we want to really upgrade the also including the scientific capabilities of our graduates. No? We know we have recent experiences where our engineers are about to be blacklisted in the Middle East because we lack 2 years of basic education. And we have to negotiate with the government of the Middle East government to reconsider, because actually Filipinos are magaling naman. But it will really benefit if we have additional inputs with regards to scientific knowledge. And on the status of the science,
ang estado ng agham.
Siguro marami tayong mga indicators that we can use to gauge the status of science and technology in the Philippines. One that I've mentioned already is the expenditure on research and development. And we hope that because if the trend continues, we would have more resources devoted to research and development. Again, on the areas of equipping the country with the facilities that will enhance science and technology, we also hope that the trend would continue, that we will have more investments into laboratories and the other facilities. As I mentioned earlier, one big point why we increased our world competitiveness ranking is because we had increased so much in the government procurement of scientific devices.
Currently, sir, in the region, how much is the regional budget for the DOST for science development?
We actually have a 20 billion budget nationwide, no?
20 billion nationwide.
But for the region where we are focused on enterprise development through science and technology, we have close to 100 million. Only 70 million, but we can also generate resources from other sources. So perhaps we can go as close as 100 million.
So the cost-benefit analysis would prove more towards development, or is there still a lack of players in science and technology?
We have substantially already contributed towards enhancing productivity. The examples are the results from the enterprise that have been developed, and you can just imagine the impact on employment. But definitely there will be more room for improvement. And we hope that we can have that instituted in the region so that we further enhance productivity and spread it across the citizenry.
One last question. Can you name or cite a science project in the region that are in the forefront of development that is funded by the DOST?
We partnered with some local government units to enhance governance, and we had supported the electronic business licensing and permitting system of City Hall and the electronic building permit management system, so that it's a lot easier for business registrants to get the necessary permits. And these are developed by our local university, students and faculty of Mindanao University of Science and Technology.
Okay.
Do you have any programs on, let's say you have a lot of scientists, you funded them as scholar. Do they go abroad or they stay here, or do you have a Balik Scientist program? Is there any
We have a
such thing?
Balik Scientist program, and some of them we have brought them to the region. Like for example, we have one NASA scientist who developed food for astronauts, which are which should be handy, and we hope that technology can also be utilized for disaster food, for emergency food, because during emergencies you cannot cook. And if you notice, the emergency packages are 1 kilo rice, 1 canned sardines, and then 1 canned, or rather 1 pack noodle. But in times of floods, you cannot cook.
Yeah.
So what we need are something like an environment conducive to something like the space where you cannot also cook. No?
Oh, so you
it's
have a
been
program.
developed. Yeah, we have
to encourage the scientists to come back.
We had already utilized some of them.
Oh, that's good to hear.
That's very good. All right, so do we have any more questions from our media friends? All right, so that was the last question. We have discussed quite thoroughly for this topic on National Science and Technology Week. So as we see its importance in society and communities, may we bring this as an advocacy to support local inventors and urge more children and youth to go into and choose science and technology as their career path.
That's right, Jan. There must be enough support to continue and even boost the research and technology to cater, especially to the needs of the vulnerable sector and the far-flung communities. I'm sure you know when I say far-flung communities.
All right, so we have come to the last part of our Talakayan. We would like to thank our guests for coming over, RD Alamban and ARD Ratilia, for spending time with us in this important week-long celebration. So, of course, big thanks to Mr. Jerome De La Fuente of Limited Kay Lux Hotel for being a special co-host in this episode. Thank you as well to our media friends who came here today and to our avid televiewers in their homes. And of course, we'd like to thank our big thanks to Parasite Cable TV. In behalf of our regional director, Thelma B. Oliver, this is Jam Rukat. Thank you for your consistent support in this Talakayan. Until the next episode, thank you and good day.
Has been a partner in community health system, and nagpasalamat yung migdako na throughout na tanan namang gi-promote, gi-suportahan sa Department of Science and Technology o sa atong national government to upgrade the health information system through electronic medical record and electronic medical device. Kani gyud ang RX box ang pinaka-comprehensive, no, pinaka-kompleto, dayon pinaka-interactive, dali ra siya matudlo sa atong mga nasa community health workers. And I recall one instance na naka-refer din me of early referral sa mga buntis, so it prevent any chance of maternal mortality and infant mortality through the fetal monitoring system. And so then napo siya ECG, so it also opened opportunities for an EC system for detecting problems in lifestyle related diseases. So this is a small but remarkable gadget, and hopefully improve yapon through research, and I believe na i-supportan pa rin sa government so that it would improve and cater more people, and it would be the basis of referring throughout the health centers and hospitals as well. So mag-communicate naming tanan, and it would be a better health system.